to the stage. Courtney? Good morning. Okay, I'm short. Let me adjust my mic here. All right, does everyone have coffee? Wow, it doesn't look like it. All right, let's see if this works. Aw, kitties. Doesn't that excite you on a rainy morning? Okay, so thank you, Tamara, and thank you so much for showing up today. It is rainy, it's chilly, and we all probably could have stayed in bed a little bit longer. So I have been at Beau McAllister Norton for about 6 months. I think the word expert is kind of funny. I'm not an expert. I think that when people call themselves experts, I think they should probably just learn a little bit more and keep reading. I'm passionate about marketing, though, and like Tamara mentioned, for 2 years I owned a company with my brother in downtown Franklin, and we really focused on the whole aspect of marketing, starting with the brand, going all the way through with the design, the creative aspect. So I have seen a lot in the marketing world. The term marketing actually came from, or was derived basically just meaning taking a product to market. And I like to talk about shopping, and I think that's probably one of the easiest ways to correlate it. Some of the things I do want to talk about today, there's all my information. If you want to stalk me, I'm going to talk about digitally stalking a little bit. Just a few things to take away. That marketing is constantly changing. Marketing is not PR, it's not sales, it's not business development, it's not social media. It is all of these things individually and then working together. And I think that's something that I'd really like to focus on today, because to define marketing is actually kind of difficult, and especially within your business or within your company. Target market is really important. Everyone says it, you've got to find your target market, you've got to know who you're speaking to, but I think that really is one of the most powerful aspects of marketing. And you've got to track it. I'm a closet geek. I've actually coined the word feek, which is a feminine geek. I'm not super techie, but I love the analytics side of things and the geek aspect of things. So you've got to track something to see if it works. So these are just really the points that I'm going to touch on today. Okay, so let's go shopping. So like I said, marketing was basically people bringing a product or service to market, to sell it. So if you think about what it takes to get a product to a market, to a grocery store, to a mall, there's a lot more than just throwing an ad out there, writing a press release about it, tweeting about it. There's an entire process that goes into marketing. So in doing some research for this, I realized that there are over 150 terms for marketing that I could just find. I think people just throw a word in front of marketing and make stuff up all the time. But some of the marketing terms that really stuck out to me were affiliate marketing, behavioral marketing, digital marketing, email marketing, interactive, niche marketing, pay-per-click, social marketing, telemarketing, viral marketing. So there's all these different aspects of marketing, and I think a lot of people probably just, like I said, threw a word in front of it and called it some sort of marketing. I want to get an idea from the audience as to who in here is in a marketing role. If you would raise your hand, please. Okay, so a little bit more than half. Who in here is more in the C-level suite that maybe monitors a marketing team? One. Oh, I was going to talk badly about you guys. All right, so we got two people in here that have a marketing team that they're monitoring. So. How many of you in here consider yourself digital marketers? Okay, a couple. Throw out a couple of titles. What are the marketing areas of expertise in here? Go. What do you do?
Marketing director.
Okay.
So a little bit of everything.
Okay. What about you?
Sales.
Okay, sales. What else? I'm going to make everyone stop and go chug coffee. All right? Let's.
Communications.
Communications. Okay. Business development, perhaps. Okay, so we're running the gamut here, which is great because all of these things are part of marketing, and I think it's really important to figure out how they work together. So I am the marketing coordinator for a law firm. which is really interesting when I started thinking about how do I get a lawyer ready to go to market. Depends on who they are, depends on what our goal is. It depends on their comfort level with more traditional marketing all the way up maybe to some new digital marketing. The most important thing, I think, is to find your target market, and we're going to talk about that a little bit, and you've got to have a goal. So hopefully in the marketing, in your company, you have a marketing plan that is part of a business plan that has a budget. So these things are pretty much laying the foundation for what our jobs are as marketers. I don't know how many of you guys saw this. The Nashville Business Journal actually reported on it. But last week, Nashville was rated the #3 shopaholic city in America, which kind of surprised me because I've lived quite a few places, and we love to spend money. So how many of you in here are B2C marketers? You're selling specific, okay, one. So you doing well in this shopaholic economy? What?
We do both B2C and B2B.
Okay. I just thought this was really interesting because they, bundle.com, which is a really cool website, it's basically a way that you can budget. It's a budgeting website, but then it also talks about know your economy and then know your competition. So I would definitely suggest that you guys go check this out. But it basically said that we were ranked 3rd in all the cities. I think they really only looked at 20 as a shopaholic city. We average our monthly spending in clothes, shoes, and other wear at about $250 a month. A month. That's pretty good spending there. And really, it says that you can go in and look at where you live to see people's spending habits. And I think that's something that goes along with the research to get your marketing plan in place. And really, go check out this website. It was really cool. Okay. We were talking about everything that marketing isn't. Marketing is not social media. I'll definitely touch on it a little bit. Social media is an extremely powerful tool, and I think everyone needs to understand it and be using it. But it's just a small aspect of what we do as marketers. Marketers need PR people. Marketers need advertising people. Marketers need writers, content developers. We can't do it all ourselves. I think a lot of times companies expect us to. Kind of said that you do a little bit of everything. And I think it's important to understand how all of these different aspects work together. But it's important to know that we have a product or service that we are trying to get out there and sell or build brand awareness or whatever your goal may be, that we have these tools to use, but we have to use them very definitively and have a goal and a plan in place to make all of these work well together. How many people in here do PR? Is that part of your marketing job?
Yeah, a little.
Okay. Which I think it's important to understand when you have a message that you want to get out there, that you want your target market to hear, it's really important. You've got to use the public relations aspect. But just throwing a press release out there or putting something out on Twitter or posting to Facebook is really not marketing. It's just a small aspect of it. So internally, who does the marketer work for? Who has their budget? Where does business development fall in? Where do the sales guys come in? Sales guys and girls come in? I think it's really important to start with your business plan. So you've got your business plan. Hopefully it's a yearly update. You know, whoever the powers that be are looking at it, examining it, and seeing where their marketing aspect falls into that. From a legal perspective, like I said, I'm a marketing coordinator for a law firm. The average law firm spends about 2 to 4% of their their gross income on marketing. And I think that's probably pretty accurate for most industries. Is that about what you guys are seeing? 2 to 4%? Anything higher, anything lower? Yeah, I think that's actually pretty accurate for most industries. Something that I think is really important is the business development aspect of marketing. When I started working at Bo McAllister, they said, well, do you want your title to be a marketing title or a business development title? And I really had to think about that because I think of business development as sales, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but business development and marketing are very different. And I said, I think marketing makes a lot more sense from a law firm perspective because it's really these lawyers who are individually creating their own business development plans. But I think, who pays for the dinner? Who pays for the event? What budget is that coming out of? And that's really important to think about. Not only who's paying for it, but then are we tracking it? So we decide to sponsor an event. $5,000 sponsorship. We get it into our budget for next year. It's going to be great. Our logo's going to be on everything. We're going to get web presence. We get a killer banner ad, all this stuff. Okay. How many people go? How many people show up from the other end? Did we actually build relationships? Did we meet anybody? Did we get a new client out of it? And I think that's something that marketers were great at coming up with these ideas and implementing these ideas. But are we actually tracking it? And a lot of times, it's not something that you can track, you individually. You've got to go to the people who are attending these events. So we decide that we're going to be a sponsor for an entire year of a nonprofit. That's great. It's great for brand awareness, and I know we're going to speak on brand awareness later. It's great to get your name out there. But did you get anything from it? Can you actually compute your ROI on some of these measures? And that's something that I don't think we always think of as a marketer. So social media, I'm just going to touch on it. It isn't a fad. It's here to stay. And it's actually an amazing marketing tool. But like everything, you've got to have a goal. You've got to have a plan. And you need to know who you're talking to. Hello? There we go. Target market. I like this also because it reminds me of Target, which they do such a great job marketing and branding. So depending on what your goal is, depending on if you're selling a product, selling a service, there's a lot of research that goes into this. And I think sometimes, like I said, as marketers, we get really excited about this idea. We're going to do a rebranding. We're going to roll out a whole new website. We're going to do all new email marketing, which are all great, fresh ideas. You've got to keep up with the technology. But who do you want to talk to? Who is your perfect client, your perfect prospect? And in saying that, you've got to do some research. You've got to research, one, your perfect client. You've got to research your competition. How many of you guys and gals really go and look and see what your competition are doing on maybe a twice yearly basis? I think that's really important. The information's out there for us to get, so go get it. There's no other law firms in here, right? So I subscribe to everyone's e-blasts. If you're someone who's doing something great, or even not so great, I like to see it. I mean, I go on people's websites and I sign up for their e-blast, get it delivered right to my inbox and go, wow, these guys they're killing it in this arena. Maybe we kind of need to kick it up, or wow, we look great compared to these guys. So it's really important. People are putting the information out there. Go get it. From a marketing perspective and a branding perspective, think about what you look like online. I jokingly said 2 years ago that I'm a professional digital stalker, and it kind of stuck, and I've done quite a few sessions on digital stalking, but it's not so much going out and finding what your competition is doing and figuring out who can I talk to from a business development sales perspective. It's great to go on people's Facebook pages and their LinkedIn pages and go, okay, I want to do business with this company. Here is my target market. Here's my goal. I want to, within 6 months, sign on X client. Great, there's your goal. You've got your target market, you've got your goal. Digitally stalk the heck out of them. Figure out who it is you need to get to, who do you know who's already there, which one of your friends from your networking can get you in. That's a great aspect of digital stalking. The other aspect that I like to turn around on people is, what do you look like online? So someone digitally stalks you. They're like, oh wow, Courtney Rogers, I need to figure out how I can get in with her law firm. And they go to Bone McAllister Norton's LinkedIn page. There's no logo, there's no email address, there's no phone number, there's no Google map. Okay, well maybe they don't like LinkedIn very much. I'm going to go to their Facebook page and see what's on there. Same thing, like 2 friends and no logo, no picture. Okay, well let's go to their website. Same thing, if people can't find you, they're not going to be able to do business with you. So it's really important, and I know that, that Tim's going to speak a lot more on branding, but use your logo. If it's not a good logo, get a new one. Use your contact information. Make sure things that everything is consistent. So like I said, when I'm digitally stalking somebody, their LinkedIn page, links to their Facebook page, links to their Twitter account, which all should be living on their website, and that's another aspect that we're going to talk about when it comes to measurement. But from a marketing perspective, can people find you to do business with? I think we're always thinking outside the box going, okay, I need to get my message out there to this group of people. Great. That's something we should always be focusing on, but there's always other people that are looking for us. And what do we look like? And what are they deciding? Okay, I don't want to work. I don't want to do business with this person. Or wow, these people really have their act together. If they put this much time and effort into their own messaging and their own brand and their own website and their own email marketing, they'll probably take pretty good care of me as a client. So think about things that way. Going back to social media, when I'm talking about target markets and a goal, I think sometimes people want to do everything. Like, all right, we've got a Facebook page, a Twitter account, a Flickr, a Tumblr, Google+, anything. If something's coming out tomorrow, yeah, we're going to get it. I think it's really important to be aware of these things and definitely know how these tools work and how they work together, but don't try to do everything. And this is where your research comes in. Is your target market, are they going to react to you better with a Facebook page, a LinkedIn profile, a Twitter account, a blog? You know, these are a lot of things. We're in the process of redoing our website, thank goodness. And we realized that we have 16 different practice areas, and some of these attorneys are killing it in the social media realm by blogging. People are calling them specifically going, I read your blog on copyright infringement, and you really know what you're talking about. And they're getting a ton of business that way. And then from the research that we did, you know, the banking crowd is not going to get clients from a blog. But what they're finding is the banking crowd loves e-newsletters. So they're writing these articles and they're showing that they're experts in their field, and we're targeting it specifically to their current clients and to prospects. We know this because we have everything running through our website and running through our analytics, so that I can say, hey, Attorney Smith, you know, you got 200 hits to your website page yesterday because of that blog you posted. Or banker Attorney Jones, you know, after we sent that e-blast out yesterday, your traffic went up 200%. So we think it's going to work. We do whatever the marketing event is, and then we track it. So, and sometimes it doesn't work. And this is something from a marketing perspective that is really important to realize, that we have great creative ideas, and if you've never done it before, you just have to do it, see if it works. after you've done your research, I mean, sometimes a random idea is a random idea and it works great. But if it's based on the research and it's based on your target market, you try it and you track it. You can say, well, that was just really not successful. And it's okay as a marketer to have some of these tests and say, we're just not going to do that again, but I know why it didn't work. It didn't work because we tested it and we saw that people didn't pick up on it. Maybe we did it at the wrong time of year, all these different things. Another aspect of marketing that I really like to talk about is networking. And I think that as marketers, we can get really focused on a campaign. Or let's look at next year, our budget, and what we're going to do next year. And all that's important. But what are you doing today? What are you doing from a word of mouth perspective? I sit on the NAMA board, the Nashville American Marketing Association board, and we had a meeting last night, and we do a really good job of tracking all of our events, and we do tons of surveys. Surveys are your friend. Surveys can be annoying. We all know that. If you ask 150 questions, people won't fill it out, but if you ask 10, they probably will, especially if it's in a group of like-minded individuals. But we have these surveys, and we have discovered that 58% of the people who show up for our NAMA luncheons hear about it from word of mouth. That's pretty amazing. So it's, hey, did you know there's a NAMA luncheon next week? Hey, I'm going to send you someone who I already know an email to say, here's a really cool event that I thought you would like. With all the technology out there, yes, we put it on Facebook, we put it on Twitter, we blog about it, we send e-blasts about it, we send probably too many emails about it, but 58% of the people who show up, it was because they heard about the event through word of mouth. So I think that networking events are important. When you're networking, always keep in mind, what's your goal? Am I here, what's our goal? We all want to get new clients and make money and all that kind of stuff. But really, am I building awareness about my company? Am I targeting you specifically? Okay, you are the CEO of a company I want to do business with. I want to get next to you, have a chit-chat, go grab a coffee next week. So if you're going into networking events with a goal and a target in mind, I think you can really, really get your message out there. Let's see here. So we are still talking about our targeted market. Research on your competition is extremely important. And it's not just, do they look better than us? Was their campaign cooler than us? Who's their design agency? Things like that. All of that's important to know. But why are people buying their product or their service before they're buying yours? Or maybe at the same time. Companies, we all put the reports out there. Go and learn from them. Go and track down who their clients are. If you can prove that you can do a better job than somebody else, and you can get in there and you can find your target, and your goal is, I want to do business with this person, there's nothing wrong with using your competition to get there. Researching your market. So I do marketing for a law firm. Everyone needs a lawyer. But we don't do a ton of divorce. I mean, we have one guy who does divorce. So I'm not going to go out there and, run the yellow page ads and get on the radio and talking about how Bo McAllister Norton is the best family law practice that's out there. Because we're not. We have one person out of 32 that does it. So I understand that our market is not in the family law area. It's so important to know as a marketer who you're talking to and who you want to get your message across before you even start with your message. So let's talk about your inner geek. Everyone has one. The kitty cat even has one. I think people are really intimidated by technology. I think people can be really intimidated by the word analytics. I know I was 2.5 years ago when someone started speaking on it, and I was like, analytics. I analyze stuff all the time. The key is you've got to run your marketing efforts through a platform. Hopefully, it's your website. So how many people in here have a website for your business? Please, everyone raise your hand. Okay, if you don't have a website, please, that should be your first thing is get a website. How many people in here have Google Analytics or some sort of analytics platform set up on said website? Okay, so not as many as I would expect, but analytics are basically how you're going to justify